Hello, welcome to the Showboys Newscast, bringing you all the news and no opinion. I'm Mike.
And I'm Nick.
Thanks for joining us. We got a lot to cover, so let's get right to it. And first up, following suit with usual newscast shenanigans, we have a little DC block here, and we got the official synopsis for The Batman, which is exciting. Synopsis has been released. The DC film will follow Batman through his early years as he struggles with his anger issues and righteousness. The synopsis goes on to say Robert Pattinson delivers a raw, intense portrayal of Batman as a delusioned, desperate vigilante, awakened by the realization that the anger consuming him makes him no better than the ruthless serial killer he's hunting. The Batman will premiere on March 4th, 2022. So coming up right around the corner here.
Be here in no time.
Yeah, and everything I've seen so far about this movie has me excited. I keep hearing a lot of good things about it. It looks more of like I've heard it described as like a horror-y take on Batman. It's pretty dark, which is nothing new for Batman or DC. But
surprise, we're making a dark Batman.
Right. But yeah, I like Robert Pattinson, and I'm excited to see his take on a young Batman. So yeah.
None of this old Ben Affleck Batman.
Yeah.
Just gonna brush him right to the side. In related news, David Ayer says Jared Leto killed it, but no one knows regarding the Suicide Squad. Or Suicide Squad. I understand.
Yeah, not the Suicide Squad. Come on.
Different movie, my bad.
Get it regarding right, man.
Suicide Squad. Last spring, Ann Sarnoff, CEO of Warner Media, assured us that no Ayer cut of Suicide Squad would be released.
Boo.
That, however, has not stopped. Is it Ayer or Ayer?
Yeah,
Ayer himself from hyping up his version of the film. Ayer has recently tweeted that Jared Leto's performance and posted a picture of Leto as Joker holding a baseball that captioned, "Jared killed it, but no one knows." The image was unreleased until now. Ayer appears to be following the footsteps of Zack Snyder and his successful campaign to release the Snyder Cut version of Justice League. Oh boy, I agree with it. I think he did kill it.
Yeah, I mean, I think people were just mad because it was a different take on the Joker.
Per usual.
Suicide Squad in general was just a pile of garbage. The Suicide Squad that we got, I think. But yeah, we talked about this with the Snyder Cut. How many other filmmakers would follow suit and try to get their director cut and complain about what was released. So yeah, not surprised. This has been floating around out there for a little while. I'd be down for it.
Shoot, yeah.
We got 3 more DC stories here for you. Michael B. Jordan's Val Zod Superman picks up writers. So Val Zod, HBO Max's project with Michael B. Jordan, has chosen 2 writers to handle the script. Darnell Mateer and Josh Peters will be handling the duties, having previously worked on Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. The project is still in its infancy. It's not even clear yet whether it's set to be a film or a miniseries. No release timeline or cast is known at this point. Yeah. I like Michael B. Jordan, so we'll see what comes of that. Looks like we're gonna be waiting a little while for anything real.
Who's Val Zod? That's not like, isn't that?
I'm not a huge Superman follower, so I'm not sure.
I was thinking that was Man of Steel, the main bad guy in there, played by
that was General Zod. I don't know
right.
I don't know if that's the same person or not. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got Brandon Fraser. He's been in the news a little bit lately. He's landed another role in the DC universe in the upcoming Batgirl movie. So the lovable Brandon Fraser has been cast as the villain in the upcoming Batgirl movie. Fraser, in the midst of resurrecting his acting career, will star as Firefly, a pyrotechnic sociopath. This will be his second appearance in the DC universe, as he also voices a Doom Patrol character on HBO Max. Batgirl should release sometime in 2022 on HBO Max, though no exact date has been set. He's in Doom Patrol. I totally forget his character's name, but he does a good job in that show. And lastly here, Green Lantern, we have an update on the Green Lantern series. The Green Lantern Corps has spent years in development, and by the sound of it, it still has a way to go before release. Speaking to Collider, Seth Graham-Smith noted that the show is, quote, gigantic and a, quote, big undertaking. The series' storyline is set to span time and space as it follows multiple lanterns, including the very first Green Lantern, Alan Scott.
Wow.
Yep. This is not to be confused with the Green Lantern movie reboot that is also happening. But I'm excited for the series. DC, one thing that they do very well is their series on HBO. So excited to see what happens with this one. And excuse me, I had a little hiccups here. We have some gaming news for you guys.
Ooh, exciting.
This one should have you excited, and Chad, our resident Ghosts of Tsushima experts, I guess we could call you guys. It is coming to PC. PlayStation exclusive no more. Ghosts of Tsushima will be making its way to PC sometime around Q2 of 2022. The much beloved game has been a PS-only title, but it appears Sony is looking to fulfill its goal of exposing their games to a wider audience. This also follows the announcement of God of War coming to PC on January 14th, 2022, which I believe we reported on last newscast. But this is exciting for me because I've heard you guys do nothing but talk about how amazing this game is, and I don't have a PlayStation except for the one that I am currently borrowing from you. I'll be able to get this on a PC, which is exciting.
Yeah, I guess the only plus side there is mods might be cool that people come out with that. Be interesting to see what kind of churns up in the modding community.
Yeah, for sure. Before we go on to the next one, speaking of modding community, you wanna talk about what you just posted in Discord?
Oh yeah, this is fresh off the press, but
wait, hold on. Breaking news.
Fresh off the press is Valheim. These two guys, I assume they're guys. I'm just gonna call them guys.
Wow, dude.
These two people, they made a 4K high texture mod for Valheim that essentially claims that it brings it up to a modern AAA title level of graphics. Gonna have to download this, gonna have to test this out because it just seems too good to be true. And for how unoptimized that game is, I'm kind of scared at the same time.
Right.
I'm gonna build like a house and it just breaks.
Right. I can't wait to see the giant mining pit in 4K.
Oh yeah. Yeah, mining pits in 4K with a 2-star troll trapped inside. Purple troll. Moving on, Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 delayed into 2023. The Overwatch and Diablo series have each hit a roadblock. Following the departure of Diablo's Diablo 4's director last summer and Overwatch 2's executive producer leaving in September, both Activision games will be delayed at least until 2023. Activision will look to bring on new leadership talent for both games as it strives to get new content to fans as soon as possible. Oh, Activision, when will you become a real company?
I mean, I don't understand what's, they can't be having anything going on over there.
Oh Lord. What a dumpster fire.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is.
Is what it is.
But speaking of video games, bro.
What? No way.
Yeah, we got 2 more articles here, and this one's kind of interesting. There has been a Quiet Place video game announcement. So
Whoa.
John Krasinski's Quiet Place, which you are probably familiar with if you, don't live under a rock. Yeah, it's being turned into a suspense-style video game with an original story. The game is being produced by Illogica, who have talent from the Far Cry and Rainbow Six franchises, while the publisher, Saber Interactive, was previously behind the World War Z game and the to-be-released Evil Dead game. This, no pun intended, screams survival horror.
Yeah, right? With some really cool mechanics in terms of sound.
Yeah, some stealth survival horror.
Yeah.
Excited to see what comes of this little nugget here. I love the movies, and yeah, if done right, this could turn into a really cool game.
Especially, I wonder, like, multiplayer. That would be... Well, I mean, Rust basically has these elements because they have true, like, adaptive distance chat and
proximity chat.
Yeah, proximity chat plus proximity like noises. They do really good in that game. Obviously, lots more these days have done that. So I just feel like that would be cool multiplayer.
Your multiplayer is like just 5 players, every man for themselves, and you just try to make noise closer to enemy players so the AI like goes and attacks them instead of you.
Yeah, something. I mean, you could do all like different modes there, but that would be interesting because like Rust isn't like a refined multiplayer environment, but you could take those elements and refine it into, oh man, what if it was like a pro like a pro gaming arena? Everyone's just super quiet.
Love it. But hey, we're talking about multiplayer. WB has a new multiplayer game in the works, and it's called Multiversus. Whoa. And this will be a platform fighting game featuring WB characters. So Warner Bros. Working on a Super Smash Bros. Style fighting game if the leaked information is correct. The tag team fighter will allow you to play as WB characters like Shaggy, Gandalf, Johnny Bravo, and Batman. While the credible information is sparse, a recent WB trademark for Multiversus does add some credibility to the claims. Even if the leaks are correct, we will likely be waiting for a significant time for any release.
So it's basically like the Looney Tunes world, but like a metaverse, multiverses. That's what I'm picturing, like some sort of like free roam world that looks like Space Jam 2. And you can just like fight people.
Yeah, this just sounds like a Smash Bros. Like clone, but with WB characters instead of Nintendo.
Yeah. And a basketball game mode.
Right. Yeah. All of a sudden, LeBron James. Well, that'd be interesting if he could like fight as LeBron James. Yeah, well, it never really got into Super Smash Bros. But I mean, they have the roster of characters to pull from.
Oh yeah.
So keep your eye out on that. Both of these last 2 gaming rumors are, a ways off from really, like, I can't think of the word, but becoming something of substance. They're both still in the early stages. But we got some more HBO Warner Brothers news for you guys. And hot off the backs of Dune, we have the Dune Sisterhood series, coming to HBO. So yeah, there's a Dune spinoff series that is potentially in the works at HBO. HBO Max is adapting Dune: The Sisterhood book into a TV series focusing on Jean Gesserit. A new showrunner has also joined the team, Diane Demu-John of The Haunting of Bly Manor. I always feel so bad for some of these names that I just absolutely butcher. Yeah, but from The Haunting of Bly Manor, it's a great show. But Diane has replaced John Spates. Look for Dune: The Sisterhood to arrive on HBO Max sometime in 2022. Well, it's a pretty quick turnaround. I mean, we're like 2 months from 2022.
Yeah, but they can just do a old Disney Plus and the Book of Boba Fett and be like December 29th.
That's true. That's very true. But yeah, and we also got news of Dune Part 2. So Dune Part 2 is greenlit and will begin production in fall of 2022. While a lot of the pieces are already in place, like the designs, casting, and writing, the directors confirmed that production would be nowhere near ready this coming spring. While this means fans will be waiting quite some time for the sequel, had a script and casting not been in place, it may have been 3 or more years for the sequel to be ready. So, hey, we're getting another. So I feel like you can't complain as long as we don't get like Avatar length, between sequels. So,
well, should I watch the first one? Thought about it the other night.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch it, but I'm so far like down the Expanse rabbit hole that I can't watch anything else. So
The Expanse has to be better than Dune as far as sci-fi series go.
I don't know, man. Dune looks pretty epic, but the Expanse is also epic.
The issue I have with the Dune trailer, and this is my general issue with trailers these days anyways, it looks too epic. Like it's trying too hard to be epic. So I just feel like I'm going to watch it and be bored or tired.
I heard that it's heavy on the space politics, so it's like right up our alley.
Ooh.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of the Expanse, space politics, you had sent me an article yesterday, I believe.
Yes, sir.
About, so many shows. What was it, like 8 or 10 shows?
The 8 series you should watch if you're, after the Expanse is over, because the Expanse season 6, the final season, comes out December 10th on Amazon Prime, and there's a lot of people that are just kind of like cult fans of that show and are going to be sad, me included, when it's gone.
You got 2 of those people right here. What was the first show listed on that article?
And I went through all these shows, and really the first one kind of stood out to me, and it's Raised by Wolves, something you've mentioned here before.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to mention it again because we got season 2 coming early 2022.
Okay.
So, by the way, do you like that segue? It took a while, but I think it was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth putting together.
That was a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for following along with me. But yeah, season 2 of Raised by Wolves is set to be released in early 2022. The sci-fi series was confirmed to get a second season via a preview that played prior to the airing of Dune. The HBO series follows 2 androids who care for human children following the destruction of Earth. I watched this a couple months ago, the first season, and was very, very entertained and interested in this show. So glad that a season 2 is coming and coming so soon. You need to get on it and watch this show, please.
Yeah, I think I might prioritize that. I'm feeling the itch. I don't know if
be a post-Expanse show for you.
Yeah, because I don't know if I'm post-Expanse. I might have to get to it before that. We have a whole month of November.
That's true, and it's you only got one season to catch up on, so.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to dig into Narcos season 3 yet of Narcos Mexico. I'm not sure. I'm toying with my next show move. I just really made a really big push on The Expanse.
Yeah.
I think instead of playing any games Sunday night, I just grinded through like the last 3 episodes of season 5. So good.
Yeah, I already got my my next show ready to go, and from what I'm hearing, it's going to be short because the way that they're releasing it. But yeah, Arcane on Netflix just came out, and that's totally going to be my next watch. But I think they only released like 3 episodes, and they're doing it in like the weird like Attack on Titan thing where it's like part 1, part 2. I don't know how many parts are going to be of season 1, but yeah, I think if what I read is correct, there's only like 3 or so episodes on Netflix at the moment. So
yeah, it might not be a bad thing though, because sometimes it's easier just to keep up with it, and that's like nice digestible bits versus getting way behind. So I want to watch Arcane as well. In regards to that segue, I will say this is the most unscripted scripted show I know of.
That's very true.
Moving on, but not really. Warner Brothers updates on Dune 2, new Sopranos series, and more Matrix. We're just going to throw every little last bit of
take it
all the HBO Warner Brothers stuff at you right here to close out this segment. Despite the poor performance of The Many Saints of Newark, more Sopranos content appears to be on the horizon. HBO Max has confirmed that they are in contact with David Chase, Sopranos creator, about additional Sopranos content. The box office failure appears to be at least partially offset by its relative popularity on the streaming service. Naturally, the Matrix franchise may not be ending anytime soon either, as The Matrix Resurrections is set to release in December. HBO has stated that anytime Lena wants to make a movie, we're all in.
Nice.
And that would be the one of the Wachowski duo who is heading up the Matrix Resurrections here. So we have one half of the original Matrix team. Yeah, I'm gonna need Chad's take on the Many Saints of Newark, because I haven't seen it, and it's spicy that it kind of bombed or did poorly in the box office. But that's also not surprising either, though. I didn't even think it was gonna go to theaters. That just seems like something that should just be on streaming.
Yeah. Didn't you have a spicy take that you think Sopranos is not good?
No, that's false. Chad was lying. I simply said that I found Boardwalk Empire to be a more engaging, or at least approachable watch than The Sopranos. Because once again, I've tried to watch Sopranos episode 1, the pilot, 2 or 3 times now, and I cannot get past the 35-minute mark of the 1 hour long episode it is. On that same note, we started watching Shameless.
Yeah.
And there's 12 seasons, and every episode's an hour long. That does not seem like a show that needs to be an hour long per episode, but it is.
Yeah, Bex watched quite a bit of that show.
Yeah, that's crazy. That seems like a 30-minute show to me, not a 1 hour.
Yeah.
But no, that hot take wasn't true.
It's no Breaking Bad, huh?
Nope. And that's enough of that. Moving on. Mike's just trying to get hot takes out of me all the time now.
We need that clip content.
He will not trap me. The shortest MCU section we've had in a while. And the Eternals' lowest rated MCU film is what we have to talk about for MCU stuff. The one thing to talk about that no one, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been amongst the internet enough lately to really understand what the take is here. But currently, Eternals holds the spot for the lowest rated MCU film at an abysmal 59% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is low for an MCU film.
Yeah.
Note. Just edging out Thor: Dark World for the less than coveted position of the bottom. While it's not too late for the Eternals rating to climb higher, it appears to be a miss nonetheless by MCU's lofty standards. Note, at the time of this writing, the audience score is a solid 80%, while the tomato meter sits at 48%.
What a name for a meter.
The thermometer would be probably the proper way to say
yeah.
the thermometer. Yeah, so I don't know. I started to watch Mick Manhattan of the Scene Snobs.
Yes.
I started
the
to watch
snob himself.
The Snob himself. I started to watch his review of it, and I decided to turn away because I'm probably going to watch it. And I believe he was going to dig into some spoilers. His original review that he said he was going to do is going to be spoiler free, but apparently the divisiveness of this film was so heated that he just had to really lay it all out there. So got the snob himself a little worked up about it.
Yeah, I wonder a few things, like, is the audience score just because Marvel has the clout of dedicated fanboys now? Or, is this another movie that just gets wrecked by the critics, but it actually is pretty good? I'm not that excited about the Eternals, to be honest, but I don't know. I wasn't that excited about WandaVision, and I absolutely loved it. So
yeah, I mean that's an interesting point in terms of the thermometers there in terms of like audience score, because I could see 5 years ago easily the audience score being heavily driven by just casual moviegoers. But especially with the MCU at this point in its phases and just how mature it is as a, it's basically it's gone full circle, right? And now they're moving into their really next big phase. I wonder how much of the audience score is really kind of driven by the fans, right? Just like defending it, holding it true.
It's Marvel. What are you talking about? It's great.
Right. Because if the audience score bombed, 5 years ago, it would have been like, oh yeah, because no one really gets what they're trying to do, and it was really a good movie. So it's interesting, the dynamics between the critic, quote unquote, score and then the audience score.
Yep, we shall see though. I'm sure eventually I'll watch it. Just the same as Black Widow, which I still haven't watched, but someday. Someday. We got some Netflix news coming up here. And it's revolving around one of my favorites, equally divisive people.
What's he doing
Snyder
What's he doing out of his DC section? Get him back in there.
Right. Well, he's taking a crack at some sci-fi here. We have some casting news for his new sci-fi project, Rebel Moon.
Sci-fries.
Yeah, I love sci-fries. Shout out Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Anyways, Rebel Moon is set to be Zack Snyder's first film following his new Netflix deal. Sofia Boutella, The Kingsman, which was a great movie. Have you ever seen The Kingsman?
No, it's one that it's in the pile of things I should have seen a long time ago.
Yeah, dude, those movies are so fun. Anyways, she's been cast as the main character, a young woman with a mysterious past. Well, thanks for describing about every movie that could, possibly star a young woman. Anyways, Snyder will be directing and co-writing. The film will also be the first reunion for Snyder, Scott Stuber, and Eric Newman since Dawn of the Dead, which was a really fun movie. Speaking of Dead and Zack Snyder, his Army of the Dead 2 gets a title. So, Army of the Dead released, I think, last year, and was one of the few Netflix originals to release in theaters for like a week before releasing on Netflix, which I thought was pretty neat. I actually saw it in theaters during that first week, and it's the start of a army of the like universe. So we have Army of the Dead sequels and prequels seemingly popping up left and right on Netflix. The prequel, Army of Thieves, is currently #1 on Netflix right now, while it's now been announced that the sequel, Planet of the Dead, will be releasing sometime in 2022. Snyder also teased that there may be more in store for Dieter, which Dieter is the main character of Army of Thieves, and one of the probably the coolest character in Army of the Dead. But yeah, I'm excited. It's like an absolutely bonkers story about zombies, and Snyder had a lot of fun, I think, with this, just trying to go as over the top as possible. There's like zombies and aliens and robots and heists in the middle of a zombie apocalypse containment zone and safe cracking, and it's just off the wall. I recommend it if you're looking for a fun little watch. Yeah, that about does it for the Netflix news, and that will
For
lead
the
us
newscast. See you all next time. Welcome to Star Boys. Been waiting for.
Just kidding. It's the Star Boys segment.
That's right. We're here, but we only got 2 articles for you. We are so sorry, but that's because there's so much stuff that's just on the horizon as Star Wars season is about to begin.
Yes.
Mike Flanagan wants to make a horror Star Wars film.
I'm
on board with this. I'm on board. I'm glad, of all things, Mike Flanagan, horror king, wants to do next, and it's a Star Wars horror thing. So I'm here for it. Standout horror film and TV director Mike Flanagan wants to bring his talents to the Star Wars franchise. The Star Wars universe is notably light on horror stories, so seeing Flanagan bring something like that to life would be interesting, though I'm not sure Disney is looking to make this happen anytime soon. I did see some scary stuff lingering about, or at least spooky looking stuff lingering about Disney Plus on Halloween. Obviously, it's no Netflix, it's no Shudder, but they're making slight efforts, right, to kind of make some content there.
I mean, you're in space, and there's like, you could totally do like a monster horror flick, right? In the Star Wars universe, there's lots of space creatures. You could do a Dead Space style horror in Star Wars, totally.
Yeah, and there's actually a book that is basically a horror Star Wars story about stormtroopers, basically like zombie stormtroopers.
Oh, nice. What's the have something take place on Dathomir? That's a pretty spooky place.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about Star Wars is it's really just kind of an open palette for people to do whatever they want. And that's really kind of how I've begun looking at Star Wars in the past 5 years, is it's really just kind of like a medium for entertainment and storytelling. It's not really anything concrete, which is great about it. And obviously they're doing things like that with it's not, I get it confused with the Marvel one. Marvel is the Legends one, right? Or no, that's the What If. Star Wars Legends is the animated Star Wars. So even stuff like that, like just making non-canon stuff, like they don't even have to call it canon, just make a horror Star Wars show.
Yeah, bro,
movie, whatever.
Just do it.
Moving on. Hayden Christensen is reprising his Darth Vader role in Ahsoka series? ? This might be a rumor. Not only is Hayden Christian returning for the live-action Obi-Wan Kenobi series, but he'll also be joining the Ahsoka series. Ahsoka follows the story of a Padawan taught by Anakin and set 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Christensen's return as Darth Vader has been the source of a lot of fan excitement recently, and is great to see his role getting expanded to other series as well. This sounds like it's a little bit more concrete these days. I know this rumor has been kind of circulating ever since, Kenobi was kind of officially have Hayden at the helm of Darth Vader.
Mhm.
And obviously he's welcome back. And obviously this is, I think Darth Vader's really in his pocket when he does these like cameos. He's just at that point in his career where he's the cameo character. So we'll see how much of a cameo he is in Obi-Wan. I imagine it is to that effect. I can't imagine he's in like every episode, but it would be cool if they did a like dueling story, if you will. Like they're on Obi-Wan half the time, the other half time they're on Anakin. That could
Mm,
be cool.
yeah,
So
that would be awesome. As far as Vader and Ahsoka goes, like that moment that popped up in Rebels was like mind blowing to me.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't even know like the backstory between Vader and Ahsoka. So like, if this is actually like 100% happening, I'm so excited to see this happen.
Yeah. Ahsoka's gonna be good no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
So just I don't think anyone at the time when they announced Ahsoka were like, yeah, Darth Vader or bust. They're like, no, like this is gonna be great regardless. And here they are just gonna toss in Darth Vader. And what a smooth gig for Hayden in hindsight. Like he just gets to like pop back into acting
Yeah.
20 years later. And what does he have to do? I just have to play Darth Vader. Right on.
Yeah, bro. Just right back in.
Okay.
Hmm.
Had to recalibrate there a little bit. I was pondering all the Star Wars content that is yet to come out. I just feel like we're on the cusp of a huge Star Wars season.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, moving on. Out of the Star Wars realm, Gal Gadot to play Evil Queen in a live-action Snow White. The upcoming live-action adaptation of Snow White will feature Gal Gadot as the Evil Queen. The Wonder Woman star will appear across from Rachel Zegler as Snow White, and the film will be directed by Mark Webb of The Amazing Spider-Man.
That's interesting. I did not realize that Mark Webb was involved in Spider-Man.
Yeah, right? The Amazing Spider-Man.
I mean, what a perfect name to be involved in anything Spider-Man related.
Yeah, Mark Webb, I'm here to tell you about Spider-Man. I think it should be like this.
It's like, that's it. Just
Yeah.
introduce him. All right, you got the job.
Who do we got for who's on the staff here? Oh, Mark Webb. Yeah, get him in here.
Yep.
Anyway, speaking of new animated Star Trek film inspired by the Spider-Verse. Okay, that was a finagled bit of content there. An animated Star Trek movie appears to be in the works. Producer Alex Kurtzman says he's taking inspiration from Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse and described it as a theatrical 4-quadrant family movie. No work has begun on the film as of yet. Well, of course. I mean, no one knows what a 4-quadrant family movie is. I mean, I don't. But that sounds like it's a popular term amongst maybe directors. I have no idea.
Yeah. Star Trek. Yeah.
And maybe this is what a little glimpse into our adventure this Thursday will be, and is learning about why it is such an exciting time to be a Star Trek fan.
Yep, we're gonna take a little trip into the final frontier. You like what I did there?
No, you gotta work on that soundbite there.
Yeah, well, I don't anticipate having big Star Trek blocks into the newscast, but if we do, I'll work on it.
Okay.
Yeah, moving on, we got this actually makes me so excited because, man, the first movie was so funny and just is a great memory from my childhood. But I found an article that Dan Aykroyd is developing a sequel to The Great Outdoors. That's right. You heard me right. Dan Aykroyd confirms that he's making a sequel to the 1988 comedy The Great Outdoors. The original film starred the late and great John Candy, who will undoubtedly be tough to replace. Aykroyd stated, "I am looking for the Candy figure. There are some really interesting names, but I can't say who. The sequel is titled The Great Outlaws and will be directed by Howie Deutsch."
Wow.
Have you seen The Great Outdoors?
Yeah.
I love this movie so much. It's perfect.
He's a crisp 69 years old, that Dan Aykroyd.
Ew. Yeah, and isn't he like a tequila maker or some sort of
Probably at this point in his life.
alcoholic beverage producer?
Probably. They all kind of try to get into that game.
Yeah, he was on Joe Rogan at some point in the last like couple years. Anyways, yeah, Great Outdoors sequel. Let's go. Next, we need an Uncle Buck.
35 years later.
Yeah.
Moving on. Robert Downey Jr. and Matt Damon join Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan's next film, Oppenheimer, has landed a great cast as of yet. Robert Downey Jr. and Matt Damon have signed on to star in the film, while Emily Blunt is in talks to join the cast as well. The movie will revolve around J. Robert Oppenheimer, leader of the Manhattan Project, which oversaw the creation of the atomic bomb. This is a movie that I definitely want to see, but it's probably going to fall into the long list of war movies I have not seen in the past like 5 years. That makes me sad.
Yeah. I wonder if RDJ will be Oppenheimer because
A scientist basically that makes atomic bomb, kind of like a lateral move there.
Exactly.
Basically, he's going to play his dad from Marvel because that's what his dad practically did in Marvel, right? I mean, in place, basically.
Yeah. Seems interesting nonetheless. I was looking up before we came on to see, I mean, obviously there's no trailer, but I was searching Oppenheimer on YouTube and came across a clip of a speech from the gentleman about like what happened with Hiroshima and stuff. And it was like, it was a brutal watch. Like I suggest anyone go on YouTube and check out that clip because he is, you can tell, full of deep regret.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, as one would who is responsible for the deaths of
hundreds of thousands,
so many people. But yeah, should be an interesting flick, that's for sure. Speaking of interesting flick, man, I am crushing these segues, bro, even though that one wasn't really that impressive, but we have, I put this on here just because it sounds like a very interesting premise, though sometimes I kind of wish all action like this film out there, it's not going to have it. That's right. Silent Night is an action movie with zero dialogue. The John Woo directed film will follow a father who heads into the underworld to avenge his young son's death. So, again, with these synopsises, that can basically describe every action movie that's ever been created. The concept certainly sounds interesting, though. I saw a movie that basically is this exact description with my father-in-law over the summer. Shoot, what's it called? It was a Jason Statham movie.
Oh God.
And I wish it had no dialogue. It was the whole time. I'm just like,
yeah. I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah, I mean the action was cool, but I mean, yeah, it's just like every time anyone opened their mouth, I was just like, oh God, this couldn't be worse. But yeah, interesting to say the least.
On to better and brighter things.
Oh, I'm so hyped. Did you watch this?
No, I didn't. And more hopeful things on the horizon. Atlanta Season 3 trailer. The first glimpse of Atlanta Season 3 has been released. Donald Glover tweeted out a happy Halloween tweet alongside a short trailer for the upcoming season. Atlanta has suffered from delays due to the pandemic, as reported here. So the confirmation of a 2022 release is sure to brighten fans' days. Season 3 and 4 were shot and written together, with one season set in Atlanta and the other in Europe. Wow.
Dude, you have to watch this teaser.
No one sent it to me.
Well, there's a little thing called YouTube. Anyways.
YouTube didn't even send it to me. Like, no one told me about this.
Wow.
Our Discord failed us. Like, why do we have a Discord? Delete it.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Moving on. Emilia Clarke to star in sci-fi comedy, The Pod Generation. The Pod Generation has added Emilia Clarke to the cast of its sci-fi rom-com. The plot focuses on a couple looking to start a family in the AI-dominant future. The couple gets the chance to work with Pegasus, a tech giant, to share pregnancy and a more equal footing via a detachable artificial womb. Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, right? Interesting way to go about it. So it's like, don't even have to wear it if it's a detachable womb, right? You just kind of hang it on the wall.
Yeah. Just get a nice coat rack for that bad boy.
Oh, dear. The future is going to be interesting. I forget what it was for, but I think it was just like concept art. But it was basically like, it was for Cyberpunk. And it was just like very kind of like gritty cyberpunk, but futuristic art. And like there was just like tower, like skyscrapers, and like it's one said Netflix, one said like Tesla and Google. So it's just, this very tech oriented future, which isn't too far off, it seems. Kind of very iRobot-y, but
yeah.
All the future, the metaverses made everyone start rethinking the future, I think. And moving on to another John Wick spin-off, Ballerina in talks with Ana de Armas to star. Ana de Armas is in talks to star in Ballerina, a John Wick spin-off. If she accepts the role, she'll play a young assassin who seeks revenge against people who killed her family. The character
they got to do some better work on these movie descriptions. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like they're like, we have to give the people something to like get hype about. So there's like, okay, give them the lone assassin's character arc. Got it. Seeks revenge against people killed. Of course. The character made an appearance in John Wick Chapter 3. Armas has an exciting 2022 on the horizon, as she'll be seen in Deep Water, The Gray Man, and Blonde.
Wow, she was busy.
Yeah, no lie. And one final thing here. Alec Baldwin and his gun mishap. I guess we have to mention this at some point. But Alec Baldwin's saga of involving an unintentional killing of Helena Hutchins has been a prominent focus of the news recently. While filming Rust, not to be confused with the game, a prop firearm discharged in a projectile, killing Hutchins and injuring one other. At this time, no charges have been filed against Baldwin. This story and what led to the death of the young woman will surely be a developing story in the coming weeks and months. Yeah. Rip.
Just tragic story.
It's not a prop firearm if it's a real firearm.
Yeah. When did props stop being props? Like, what is the point of having a real gun?
Yeah. I mean, there are times like swords and stuff like that they have them on set and things, but I mean, why does the gun have to be real?
Yeah. I mean, does it have to be a real gun to shoot blanks? Or can you just get like a really cool cap gun?
I'm not an expert, but like, I mean, they have this thing called like post production where they can add all kinds of fun things like noises and like effects. And I would
imagine that maybe like acting immersion probably would not be that great if you're just holding a gun that makes like zero sound and you're just like pew pew.
Yeah, but if you're a good actor, you shouldn't need a real gun.
True, and you can't accidentally kill somebody with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is it common practice to have like real guns on set and actually like have scenes where you like actually shoot live rounds, obviously safely at something? I didn't think that was a practice, but maybe it could be. But I guess if you're filming something called Rust, this is bound to happen because that game is just. I've warned everyone about this the entire length of this podcast. It is just a cesspool of the internet psychopaths. So
nothing good comes of anything.
No,
titled Rust.
No, you will. Something is dying if Rust is in the title.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of negligence, misconduct, whatever you want to call it, going on here. I can't obviously couldn't imagine being a family member of the cinematographer Helena. Not only was she killed, but somebody else was injured from the same shot. But I also can't imagine being Alec Baldwin either. Like, to know that you accidentally, did that would just, I mean, that's life shattering. I mean, obviously, he's still alive, but the guilt and remorse and just sadness of accidentally taking somebody's life via a mistake that should never, like 0%, ever happen. That's it's not going to be easy to shake.
Yeah, and similar unfortunate related news, the tragic events at the Astro World Festival this past weekend, as it did not make it onto day 2, as essentially from what I understand, concert goers there basically in a frenzy, I think, to get to the show or just a general hypeness. The compression from far back forward caused some trampling, panic, and unfortunately 8 deaths and dozens of other injuries in Houston recently, which is rough. Quite unfortunate. I mean, it is kind of not unexpected, but for obviously a concert or a festival to get that uncontrolled is a little out of the norm. I mean, 1999 Woodstock had similar issues. That was a little different. People were like dying of like thirst because they were selling bottled water for $10 a piece. So, but yeah, this is interesting how that kind of escalated. Usually, people can go to a Travis Scott concert or, general metal mosh pits and all sorts of things like that. And obviously people get injured and hurt, but to their own doing, and they're okay with it. But for people to actually get trampled and die is quite an oddity.
Indeed. Sucks. It all sucks, man.
It'll be okay though.
Yeah.
We'll make it. So sorry to end on that somber, depressing note. We had so much fun this episode, so we just had to like bring it back down.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. But once again, thank you for joining us. We hope you found this both entertaining and informative. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe everywhere you consume our content. Find all the places we publish our content on our link tree,
which is linktr.ee/showboyspodcast. Be sure to join our Discord server and become a member of the Showboys community to hang out with the Showboy staff and other listeners, as well as get some cool perks, such as being able to see all of the articles we had to choose from for this episode of the newscast, but weren't able to squeeze in the episode. All article links covered in this episode will be available in Discord. If you have anything you'd like us to cover in more detail or include in a future episode, please comment here where available, or
email us at showboyspodcast@gmail.com. And as Mike said, be sure to join us in the Showboys Discord for all the fun.
That's right. We will see you guys Thursday. Have a wonderful night.